What's up, everybody? Rothstein here, Betting Public Sports Show. I'm your beloved host, Fane Rothstein, a.k.a. Michael Snackson, a.k.a. Bay O Wolf, a.k.a. Malcolm Excellence, a.k.a. Ye Saint Croissant, a.k.a. Hacksaw Jim Thuggin. Today's Friday, May 8th, 2026. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Leave comments, share. I think it's May 8th. If it's not, it's May 7th. Yeah, it's May 8th. It's May 8th. But haven't been doing much lately. There's just too much goofy shit out there in the air. You know, like to really be doing videos. You know, like the Vlad and whoever he fucking with shit, like that shit's so corny. It's like it's all based on pocket watching, and now he's trolling everybody. Vlad's gonna, you know, he's gonna get his comeuppance somehow, someday soon. He's gonna get his, because he's being petty about shit. Like, leave people the fuck alone. You ain't gotta put Boosie's numbers out there. You know, and like I said, some of it makes me feel like it's a work anyway. You know, especially the Aries shit. Like, he just goes in on Aries every time. The makeup shit. It's like, Aries, you need a makeup for a Vlad interview? Like, really? But at any rate, one thing that needs to be discussed is the situation involving New England Patriots coach Mike Vrabel and former NFL insider reporter, nationally known reporter, Diana Russini. As you all remember, about a month ago, they were found canoodling of sorts at a private resort in Arizona. I've heard that was actually somebody there. That was somebody's iPhone taking pictures. That was not a private investigator, but I've heard it's been a private investigator. So I don't know what is the actual source of the photos, but nonetheless, they're out there. And ever since it's dropped, there's been another story after another story about it, because it just, you know, once you peel that onion back, you just keep seeing just like, geez, oh, peace. I mean, you know, everything from, they've been getting it in for years. You know, some of this is rumored, some of this is alleged, some of it is, you know, it's been, you know, been verified, but it's all out in the universe of this story already. So, but like I said, they've been getting it in for years. Allegedly, Mike Vrabel might be the father of her first kid, if not, you know, one or both of her kids. She has two sons. He has, you know, they're both already married to other people. They're both married to other people. And then you've heard stories that, her first son's name's Michael. Michael Vrabel. And then there's stories, saying that, she didn't name him after Mike Vrabel. She named him after her son or after her brother. Just all types of shit. Then the latest one is just the one that made me want to do a video. The latest story is, it has been verified. There's video of this. TMZ dropped it. That while she was 7 months pregnant, one of them rented a boat to go kick it on. Just the two of them. And given that, and that it's been verified, if I'm Patriots owner Robert Kraft, who, let's admit it, he's had his own sex page, with the spa and whatnot. But nonetheless, if I'm Patriots owner Robert Kraft, Vrabel's got to go. Just based on his personal choices. You cannot run this team. You mean to tell me you're kicking it with a pregnant woman that's not the mother of your child? You're kicking it, on a semi-private basis. She's 7 months, so she's definitely showing. You can see the baby bump in the video. She's definitely showing. And you're going to chill with her like that? You gotta go. Your personal choices, you're allowed to have, not, as the owner of a team, you're allowed to not like somebody's personal choices. This dude is out here kicking it with a married woman. Not only is he kicking it with a married woman, he's kicking it with a married pregnant woman. And not only is he kicking it with a married pregnant woman, he's cheating on his own wife. Like, he's gotta go. Let me tell you a story. As you all know, I'm from the Republic of Cincinnati. 1993, Cincinnati Reds owner Marge Schott. I know she's a weirdo, and whatnot. But 1993, she fires the former Big Red Machine. Big Red Machine, like they're still big around here. They're from the 70s. The Reds team: Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, Tony Perez, George Foster, Ken Griffey Sr., Dave Concepcion. They was a squad. Went to like 5 World Series, won 2 of them, or went to 4 of them, won 2 of them, back-to-back, 75 and 76. But, so they're still a big deal around here, even in 2026, especially when you talk about baseball season. And they're, 75 or 7, one of those teams, 75 or 76, they're suggesting might be the best team ever in baseball. But nonetheless, Tony Perez is the manager of the 1993 team. Beloved Big Red Machine member. She fires him after 44 games. Allegedly, could have been racism. Who knows? But after 44 games, he don't get better. He don't deserve better than that. 44 games. But nonetheless, she did it. Incomes for the 1994 season, I think Tommy Helms Sr. ended up filling out 1993, and then 1994, the strike year. But Davey Johnson is the manager. Davey Johnson, already a World Series winner, 86 Mets, Doc, Darrell and them. Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling and them. You know what I'm saying? He is the manager of the Reds now, 1994. 1994, there's a strike in August. The famous baseball strike, 94 strike, August. Reds are in first place of the NL Central at that time. 95, I believe the Reds won the Central because they're in the playoffs. Beat the either Dodgers or Rockies, one of the two. The first round, then they got dismantled by the Braves, who ended up winning the World Series. So Davey Johnson's got nothing but winning baseball around him. He's a World Series winner. The Reds are in first place both years he manages. She doesn't bring him back for 96 and on. You know why? She fired him. It says because there was a dispute with ownership. You know what that dispute was? Because Davey Johnson was allegedly cohabitating with his girlfriend, living with a woman he wasn't married to. Marge Schott, kooky as she was a devout Catholic. So that thing about marriage and cohabitating and all that, maybe that was something personal to her that she wasn't about to have. Because she ended up replacing with Ray Knight, another former Red. But, Marge Schott fired Davey Johnson because of his personal choices. Because of Matt Vrabel's personal choices, it's plenty enough for owner Bob Kraft to get rid of him. I can't have you around young men and you kicking it with pregnant women, married pregnant women, out on your wife and knowing that pregnant woman's married. No, I don't need you around young men. I don't need you around my ball team. If you were a player, I'd trade you for that goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, players have always gotten traded, basically fired, but traded, you know, for not being able to get along in the locker room and things like that. And the Patriots are, you know, and the rest of the NFL is trying to act like, you know, Vrabel's getting treated like Trump, things like that. He's getting, you know, yeah, but for you people who keep asking why is that significant, why should we care other than their spouses? They should let people care. No, collusion with the media. You can't have that. You know, the you know, they can leak stories, you know, through Diana Rossini to lower a player's value in a trade or something like that. You can leak stories to just, you know, about other teams and you know, and you know, maybe steal some info, you know, from another team and tell Vrabel and his people. Like that's a serious allegation, you know, ethics in the media. I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you I didn't, you know. I mean, I worked the beat before, you know, Diana Rossi, the NFL beat. So she's with these coaches and players and whatnot and owners and GMs. She's with them all the time. They know her. You know, and apparently it was an open secret that they were getting it in, or that she had a history of this, because, you know, you see that story about the woman from USA Today was fired for, you know, kind of celebrating Rossini losing her job at the New York Times, and, you know, basically saying that's what you get. We knew you was a shady chick. You know, Sam Ponder and Steve Levy of ESPN, some texts, some Twitter posts from them about the situation, about Rossini getting interviews and shit, you know, are ominous at this point. You know, trust me, you know, that's one of the places you'll see a lot of collusion. The beat writer and their subjects on the beat. You know, I had a beat. It was education. It wasn't sports. It was education. You know, when I was in journalism. You don't think I knocked off a teacher or two? You know, starts with a, hey, meet us over here, you know, blah, blah, blah. And ends in back shots. You know what I'm saying? And you keep putting these attractive women around these big old football players, big strong football players and shit. Big old men, period, you know, just big men, period. You know, pro athletes, whether they football, baseball, basketball, whatever. You keep putting these women around them, people are going to start getting fucked. Fucking is going to happen. Sex. They going to get it in. You know, there's rumors about Jimmy Butler and a certain NFL or NBA female reporter. You know, so yeah, Vrabel's got to go. You can't have this type of just fuckery, tomfoolery out of your head coach. These are bad personal choices. If he's making bad personal choices like that, just imagine some of the in-game decisions he's gonna probably make. What do you say? Is it much ado about nothing? Should Vrabel go? Will Rossini's career ever recover? Because there's another story about how another famous female NFL reporter on the TV side, how she got her, you know, how she came up. They said she sucked a mean one. Point blank. I'm not gonna put her out there because she don't deserve that. You know, she was never found. You know, like they say about the 90s, you know what I'm saying? You know, lots of fun, no evidence. You know what I'm saying? One of those type of deals. But hey, you tell me, because the answer to those questions and more will be on the next episode of Soap. I got some sports betting information for you tomorrow on Saturday. But until then, everybody, be well. Holla.